Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to do a fighter request from a subscriber. We're going to be using Marc Diakiese, and this was requested by Woven040. Marc Diakiese obviously isn't the most popular fighter to pick at lightweight. Obviously very technically well rounded when it comes to the stand-up 5-star traditional combos. A lot of flashy array of kicks, and the main strength is obviously his kicking arsenal, the variety of kicks. However, he does have issues in regards to recovery, chin health, cardio. Overall, his health stats aren't the greatest, and when it comes to grappling, of course, he's not going to be able to compete with the likes of Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, Rafael dos Anjos, Habib, and the list goes on and on and on. So, when it comes to the better fighters in the division, I wouldn't say he's in that top 5, maybe even top 10. But when it's striking alone, he can definitely compete with some of the upper echelon in the division. But yeah, so getting into this, I knew that I had to be careful. Obviously, I'm coming up against Justin Gaethje, and when you're coming up against Justin, obviously he's got amazing power in his hands, and then he's got devastating leg kicks. As you can see throughout the first round already, my opponent's already stunned me with a head kick, which I didn't expect. And when you're using Marc, you've really got to be careful, because you can't let those type of things build up, because once they do, it's going to be a real problem. Like that first stun already would have done a decent number of damage to my head health, and even though it probably hasn't shown it on the health stats, it won't represent it properly, but you'll see that throughout it's just going to be easier and easier for me to get cracked. And when I used him, I'm really trying to switch stances here and there, give my opponents different looks. I'm trying to mix in a different array of kicks, and I'm trying to keep the combination simple. Yeah, he has a flashy, wide range of key techniques, but when you're fighting ranked games and you're coming up against opponents that are really looking to capitalise on every mistake, you've got to really pick and choose your moments. But talking about some of the positives, I like how rangy he felt. I felt like I could throw a good level of attacks from a fair distance away. He covers ground nicely. Very nimble, very easy to move, felt very fluid in both stances, which is something that's rare for fighters that aren't picked that often. It's normally because even if their stand-up's good, they feel a little bit clunky. Good leg kicks, felt like he's got good head movement also. But when it comes to stuff like recovery, endurance, chin health, power, I felt that he was very lackluster. So it's someone you can use if you really want to test yourself, but obviously don't expect him to be absolutely wiping the floor with some of the elites in the division. But you can see that I'm using fakes here and there, trying to preserve stamina. As you can see, my opponent went for the head kick again, and I'm trying to limit the damage I've taken. My opponent goes for a takedown here and gets it, but of course there's only 20 seconds left. He was probably just doing this so he can have a takedown on the scorecard so the judges can see. But overall, the first round wasn't overly bad. I wouldn't say we took too much damage. Of course, that head kick did go through, and it did give my opponent a stun, which is now something that I need to be cautious of, because I know that my opponent can and at will throw the head kick. My opponent hasn't attacked my legs too much, which is a positive, and I have been working my opponent's leg. And obviously, coming up against Justin Gaethje, when you've got leg kicks like that, you sort of tend to expect your opponent's going to throw them at will in any sort of range. And starting off the second here, you can see that my stamina's in a good position, and that's ideal because I need the stamina, especially when I'm getting bombarded with strikes. I can really look to counter and throw back and see if I can damage my opponent. He roots me to the body there, and as you see, I'm throwing a lot of fakes. I'm trying to be careful going in and out of the ranges, and I'm starting to get clipped a bit here. I felt that there was a very distinct power advantage here to Justin Gaethje. I also felt that I'd have a lot more significance in the speed aspect, but Justin felt equally fast, if not faster. And like I said, this isn't the best matchup because Justin could really take me down. And when you look at the rest of the top lightweights, in terms of how Marc matches up to them, not the best, to be honest with you. But with that being said, you've got to do what you can. As you can see, beautiful there, really hit my opponent. He didn't expect it. As you can see, I've really tried to bombard him there, but yeah, he done a good job of covering up. And Justin Gaethje can take a lot of damage, so I knew that it's going to take more to get my opponent out of there. But that was a very good way to start this round. It was very unpredictable. My opponent Didn't see it coming because I hadn't even set anything up like that. As you see, tried to sneak in the elbow there, and then my opponent goes for a double elbow in the knee, which we read. And again, I'm really going to be trying to utilise the fakes. He went for an overhand there, we intercepted him with the straight. I'm doing a very good job now with blocking the body, especially taking away my opponent's knees, because I really need to be careful with my body health. I don't want that to get zapped, because if that does, then it's going to be a long night. Man, with Justin, you've sort of got to accept that you're going to take damage, but at the same time, I've got to try to be smart with it. You can see he's starting to check the leg kicks now, but we've landed a few of those. I believe that was really the first one that was properly checked, and as you can see, I really start working away again, trying to use head movement there to get away from the strikes. And now my opponent's been a bit more aggressive. Obviously, where I got that stun, you can see my opponent's pushing forwards more, really controlling the center of the octagon. And ideally, that's not something I want to happen. I don't want my opponent to pressure me. I really want to keep him on the outside, and I want to use my feints to really draw out his attacks. But again, at the moment, just because of who I'm using, it's not really realistic because of who I'm coming up against. If I was coming up against maybe, you know, someone that's still elite, but not all the way, that someone like Tony Ferguson, it might have been an easier matchup. This is going to be one of the hardest matchups in the division. That him alongside Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, would be incredibly tough. But right now, I think we've done a fairly good job. Last, you know, sort of 5 seconds of the round, he goes for a big head kick and misses, and then we land the roundhouse to the body. And this is exactly what we needed. That's the type of round we needed to build off of into round 3. So yeah, had a very good round 2 there. Implemented our game plan fairly well. Didn't take much damage. Obviously, got the stun off of my opponent. And coming into this round, land a good shot there instantly. Stamina's in a great position. I believe my opponent's going to be slightly worse for wear. And the change in the stances seems to be throwing my opponent off. It's giving him a different look every time. We're doing better in these interactions right here. Even when it is in the boxing range, I feel like, based off last round, we was having a higher success rate when it comes to being in the pocket. As you can see now, he's sort of really resorting to the elbows and really trying to block break his way through, because he's not having much success. And you know, this is to be expected when you play ranked. No matter how the fight starts off, say, you know, you're fighting someone that's super sim, fighting very realistically, as soon as they start to lose or feel like the fight's getting away from them, they'll resort to anything that they can to win and really preserve those points. You know, it is what it is. You've just got to sort of understand that. But right now, he's really applying the pressure, really fighting like Justin here, really trying to force me into a corner. As you can see, he's really throwing with ill will. Go to throw something there, and he catches me, spinning back fist. You see, he's just not giving me any room here. Really wants the knockdown. Managed to get away a little bit. He breaks my block with that head kick again, and that's something that he's landed twice now. Do a good job of covering the body, and I go for the leg kick, and for some reason it was just extremely slow. And now, as you can see, the tide's really shifted now. It's really gone towards my opponent. The damage he's done there is going to be extremely significant in the rounds to come, because once Justin hurts you, it's a different ball game. And because the recovery of Marc isn't the best, then I'm really in trouble here. But I'm trying to remain calm. As you can see, I'm throwing the feints again to get my opponent thinking, land a good leg kick, and now I've just got to wait for the right moment to throw. As he's really intent on throwing that head kick, because it's been landing, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to chip away at the legs and the body. Because with Justin Gaethje, I find that once that you eliminate either the legs or the body, the fight becomes a lot easier. And I do want to go with the boxing more to the body, but at this point I was very wary of the chin health. I knew that one uppercut, and as you can see that it just missed there, one uppercut was really enough to knock me out or get him a knockdown. So like I said, you've got to be cautious, you've got to fight smart. He starts going with like 3 knees there, we catch one of them, but he's really ripping the body, doing a better job of being aggressive, and of course this is exactly what my opponent has to do. Not much left in this round now, so he land another kick there to the midsection. I go to try to go up top again, but my opponent was too close and it stopped the kick. 10 seconds left. We're both sort of just unloading here to let the clock go away. I move back, I didn't mean to go for that kick, and he goes for another takedown, but fortunately the round ended there. So coming into the 4th round now, I've taken a lot of damage, and the thing I noticed while using Mark is that I had a couple fights with him. I think I had in total 3 fights. 2 out of the 2 that I haven't shown here, I did lose one. The other went to a decision victory, but it wasn't the easiest fight. But what I did notice throughout using him is that over time he becomes a lot harder to use. It's like he just fades really quickly in the fight, and even if you have stamina, I just feel like his power really doesn't translate. It really doesn't go through the rounds well. And I'm not sure if that's just because, you know, I'm facing the best of the best in the division, but yeah, he was very hard to use, one of the hardest fighters I've used. And although we started off this round positively, my opponent's really eager here to finish the fight. See jumping on top, but again he broke my block, hit me with a head kick to break the block again and get the stun. And it was similar to the round prior. And as you can see, my head health is just not in a great position at all. Although my opponent is hurt, I've obviously hurt his leg to a very good degree. And I know I've worked the body, I know I've worked the head. It shouldn't take too much really, to be honest with you, to get a knockdown. But my opponent really does have the power and speed advantage here. And you can see, I go to unload, he hits me again with the uppercuts, goes to my body, and we're just in a whole whirlwind of danger here right now. And it's at the point of no return. I know that, look, this round's my opponent, so I can really try to push at the pace and see if I can get a couple knockdowns and maybe level the score and just edge the round out. Or if I look to just, you know, back away, look to survive. As you see, he's really trying to hit me with his knees. And, you know, I made the conscious decision that I need to go for it. He goes for the acrobatic flying knee, misses, and we get on top and finish the fight. So, very fortunate that my opponent done that. And overall, I found him extremely hard to use. Over the distance really fades, and I don't feel the punch power translates. Very good kicking arsenal, very good technical fight. If you're in a very good technical fight where, you know, sort of like a Rob Whittaker, Darren Till fight in real life, where it's very technical, a lot of feints, then he can be used. But when you're coming up against the online ranked players in higher divisions, it's going to be hard, especially when they're looking to preserve points and they're using the best of the best, like in this showcase here. But yeah, overall it was a fun little challenge. Here's the stats here. And yeah, Damian Maia Fighter Showcase coming out soon as requested by the same subscriber, so look forward to that. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.